Welcome to the Fire Away Podcast. The podcast that is the Fire Away Podcast. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's do it.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fire Away Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Meyer, here always with Mr. Fred Anders. What's up,
howdy.
Fred?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Check us out on Instagram, Fire_Away Podcast on Instagram. Catch up on all episodes anywhere you get your podcast. We are on all major platforms. And
listen.
yeah, welcome to our two special guests today. Miss Shannon Adkins.
They are definitely special.
Special, yeah. Miss Shannon Adkins and Mr. Rich Sigethy.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you for being on. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate it.
So we know we've got Shannon's been on before, so she is a frequent flyer of the show here. We've got a newbie over here, Rich.
I'm here because I get
Welcome.
free lunch. Is that true?
Yeah. From who?
Yeah.
You.
Oh,
I can't wait to. All right,
in
somebody.
that case then.
So far, the excitement is looking at his face. He is so excited playing with the buttons.
Yeah.
Kelly also, yeah, he loves to just play with the buttons and
He
the
does.
sound effects and
Look at him go.
I really don't know what he does to this day, but I can tell you that, yeah, I can tell you that we wouldn't have a show without him because I don't know any of that stuff. I know how to plug the stuff in. That's about as far as it gets. So yeah, if Kelly's ever not here, then there goes the podcast.
So anyway, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Seeing you, my day's better.
Is that good? Well, you don't got a lot of me. We're here, but I appreciate it. I do
Hey,
like
we
nice
have
things
already
being said
spent
to
the
me.
last hour and a half talking to each
Yeah.
other and stroking each
Yeah.
other's egos, so we're good. We're in a
That's
great
right.
form today.
That's right.
Yep. So tell us. So
I'm
guess
excited.
I'd like to start by just you guys telling what your title is, how long you've been here, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we'll start with Shannon.
Yeah. Who are you?
So Vice President of Operations. Been here 15 years this year.
Congrats.
So, yay me.
God, how old are you?
She's 25. She
I'm
started
not
when
as
she was
old as
10.
you.
Really?
So we'll get into that because I have a question. Yeah. So what about you, Rick?
I've been at Fireline 20 years, Vice President of Sales and Construction Services or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's two vice presidents, so nothing's getting done right now while
Nope.
we're here doing a podcast. So
No.
nice. I like it. So how long did you say you've been here?
20 years.
20 years. So you are really older then, huh? Or did you just start
He is
before?
5 years older.
Just because I look younger than her.
So wait a minute.
Yo,
You are 5 years older than you?
somebody's
No.
nose is growing.
About to say,
There's no way
somebody
that-
didn't do very well in school, from what I understand. Then
No, we got a Pinocchio in the room.
I was just about to say, right? We were going to get into that, but
So here's the only thing I know, and
somebody
Fred
got
and I-
held back.
Fred and I had talked before the mics came on that you guys went to high school together, and that's it. That's the only thing I know. Besides your relation, your working relationship. So, high school together, graduate together.
Hold on. We have a love-hate relationship.
Well, I do know that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We love to hate each other.
Definitely.
Yes.
We
But
love to
that's
hate.
And hate to love each
that's
other.
how it works, right? It's got to be that yin and yang, or
It is.
oil and water, if you will, fire and ice. It's how it works sometimes.
So when we started working together, she came up. She's like, "Oh my God, you were so hot in high school." I'm like, "That's amazing."
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
No.
No.
So did you graduate high school together?
Yes, same class.
Okay.
And it's funny. We went to school together. We had a pretty large class. Two totally different people. So we didn't hang in the same
Two
crowd.
different groups of friends. Okay.
So we knew of each other.
16 people graduated that year.
Yeah. We knew of each other. So once I came here and I was like, oh, Rich Sigethy works here. Like, I know he went to Chesapeake, but we didn't
That was gonna be my
hang
next
out.
question.
You just knew the
Chesapeake.
name.
So it's the Mike, the same Mike Lavasser Chesapeake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mike's a few years younger than us.
Okay.
So you guys picked on Mike. He was like a freshman when you guys were upperclassmen.
I think he was a freshman the year after we
think so.
graduated. I
Okay.
think he came in as a freshman. So now I do feel
Now I know
old.
your
I
age.
feel really
Right now I
old.
know your age. I know Mike's age.
So I want to know then what were the groups that you hung out in? Who did you hang with and who did you hang with? What were the two different
I
groups?
got some guesses, but I'll let them
Yeah.
say.
I'll go first. Let Shannon go second. She can think about it. I played sports. Shannon, you're up.
I did not play sports. I hung with a variety of people.
Okay, you were very diverse.
Yes.
Hold on. I think the question should be, how often were you at school, Shannon?
Okay. Are we okay?
Yes. So you were not in the group.
Let me
of
give
the-
you some background.
Okay.
Okay. I was a Catholic schoolgirl my entire life. My high school career, my parents decided to put me into a public school. So there was a lot more freedom in a
Yes.
public school. I was a little more advanced in my education coming from private to public. So I was slightly bored in some of my classes, so I didn't feel like I needed to attend. I don't know.
I'm gonna buy it. I like it. Why not?
I get that.
For sure.
I went from private school to a community college, and I could not believe how dumb some of these people were in this community college. And I'm like, why am I here? So you get kind of bored if you're. And look, listen, I've never been academically above anyone except for that time, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, I hung out with a lot of very nerdy people. The other thing too, like I came into a public school. I grew up in Glen Burnie, moved to Pasadena, then went to a public school. So I knew no one, not from growing up, because we went to, I went to public school. So I had to make friends. Obviously, the smarter people tend to be a little more friendlier and welcoming. I don't want to say smarter people. I'll call them nerdier people. So I had a lot of friends that were...
She's calling us jocks dumb. I just want you to know that.
that were in that group.
Dumb and rude.
A very bookwormish group of people. Loved them. Had a lot of fun with them. But then also, again, hooking school. You meet up with some people that are also hooking school.
Yeah.
And,
Shannon, that's such a harsh word.
Doing
I wouldn't say hooking. You
extracurricular
didn't
activities.
attend school. It sounds.
Oh, that's what you always called it.
Yeah, it was hooking.
Playing hooky.
I'm trying to help you through this.
Playing hooky.
Playing hooky.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so I hung out with that crew as well, and
So that being said,
Got
you
into
guys
some
didn't
trouble
have a
there.
whole lot of interaction during high school.
Not at all.
Knew of each other, but didn't really know
Correct.
each other.
right.
Okay.
So what sports did you play in school?
Football.
Football?
Yep.
Cornerback?
Corner.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm just judging you by your size and.
Well, actually, it was inside linebacker at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's Pop Warner.
So Chesapeake High School. Did you grow up in Glen Burnie or Pasadena as well?
Dirty Dean all my life, and I
Dirty
can't
Dean,
get out of it. Even though as much as you want to get out, you're stuck there.
Stuck there in the Dirty Dina.
I think 3/4 of Fire Line live in Pasadena.
There's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
Anne Arundel County for sure, but that area specifically.
Yeah.
Hey, it's it's close.
Hold on, Mark. Did you play football?
I did for a year.
Linebacker?
No, I was actually a running back.
So I got to ask you, could you imagine having to tackle Derrick Henry?
No,
Dude is huge.
sick. He's not your normal size running back for sure.
I will bust his ass.
250 pounds. I was running 21
Yeah.
mile an hour the other day.
Hey, I'm 252. Bring it on.
Got it.
One
I'm just
time,
not
it's
that
over.
athletic.
I could tackle
Yeah.
him one time. So you never played no sports in school. You were more of an academic in school when you actually showed up. Okay, nice. Did you go to college? Either
Even
one of
not
you?
being there, I
Still
graduated
good.
with a really good GPA. So
I had a cousin like that. It really made me sick. He used to. So we were high school together and college together, and then he went on to a university. But he was that guy that could read something one time and remember it.
that was kind of me.
Yeah, and would pass every test. Never studied for anything. And I'm like, how did you get the brains in the family? Like everybody else is working hard, and this kid, he was just super smart with that, and never had to try, and just kind of had it. Did you go to college after school or no? Go
Yes.
right to, did you?
I didn't go right to college.
Okay, took some time off, and then
Yep. Had Allie.
had Allie. And then what college did you go to? What school?
Just
did you
Anne
go to?
Arundel Community.
Okay. What did you
And then
study
I
there?
started working on my bachelor's at the University of Maryland Community College type thing. It's not. It's an online college, not University of Maryland. People know. But yeah, so I took some time off to take care of Allie. Once she got old enough, I was able to work, take care of her, and go to school at night.
What was your major?
Business communications
Okay.
and
So
business
to kind of
management.
translate it so we don't have another Anna here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anna.
No. My associate's degree is in business management with a minor in business communications.
Okay. What about you, Rich?
So a follow-up, I did play a lot of baseball and martial arts, and that's why my knees suck. I went to Anne Arundel as well. My major was golf course management and agronomy.
What's
Very
agronomy?
nice.
I don't know that.
He's kind of an Anna situation.
If you don't know what we're referring to, she's the art history major
Yes.
now. Runs.
I don't know what you're talking about. The Anglophile and the yeah. I don't know. Yep.
So that second word you said, what is
yeah.
that?
So I worked at Gibson Island on the golf course as a kid, and worked on the greens, cutting the grass and everything. And agronomy is knowing every bug and insect
Okay.
and how to make the grass look pretty.
So like the ones that are basically invading the
Yeah.
plants and stuff on the. And knowing
So
how
I'm
to treat
assuming your lawn is beautiful.
No, it's pathetic. I'm the plumber with leaky pipes. It's awful.
my.
It's horrible.
Really?
You're like a cowboy.
So because I live in the Dirty Dina, I have a lot of sand, and I did topsoil after topsoil, and 2 years later, it's gone.
Wow.
So yeah, I got sick of doing it. So no.
Did you ever put into practice the golf course management? Did you ever do that out of school at all?
Mark, I'm here for a reason.
You've been here for 20 years,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't have had much
no,
time.
No, so I got kind of bored with that and switched to mathematics. Never finished college, and here I am sitting with all you.
So kind of going into that now. What brought you here, Shannon?
So I used to work for a engineering firm, construction engineering. I was there for 13 years. Things started to go south. The gentleman that owned the company, one of the partners was retiring, and someone coming in didn't really care for him. But Linda Abdow, who used to be our director of finance here, her husband was my mentor and then boss. And he left the company and helped me find a job so that I could leave the company. And he got me an interview with Linda and Steve, and the rest is history.
Here we are.
What about you, Rich?
This story is not so nice. I actually had my own company. It's called Alarm One, and I had two business partners, and they had a spin-off company called All Electric. And they forgot to pay I wouldn't say forgot, it's a nice word. They didn't pay the employees' trusted money for 8 quarters. So the government tried to take everything.
That's 2 years for all you guys out there.
Thank you. So Fireline was doing a lot of subcontract work with my company, and Norm Mason, my mentor, hired myself and 6 employees of my company to finish up a couple projects. And I said I'd be here for 6 months. And that was pretty much the agreement. My wife was 2 months pregnant at the time with my son, Nolan. I needed a job. I needed health insurance. So I came into Fireline just to be here for 6 months. And within about 3 months, I was taking every manual home. I hate not knowing. I read every freaking book that I could read. And I learned a lot. And before I knew it, I was one of the lead techs. Then I became Norm Mason's personal pet. Before I knew it, I'm at his house, replacing his light bulbs, running cable TV.
Taking care of his lawn.
And there's that. Yeah, and I've been here ever since. Norm Mason took me under his wing because he said I had a gift because I can talk a lot. If you guys can't pick up on that yet, and here we are today.
So, it's just cool. I have.
Hey, pay your taxes.
Yeah, it's a big thing. So, I met my wife 15 years, 20 years almost, probably longer than that, before we actually ended up getting together. When we met up again down the road, there was a familiarity. Even though we didn't know each other from Adam, the relationship took off a lot easily.
I'm not marrying you.
Because there was that we just knew each other from the past, but really didn't know each other. We were 12 years old. When you guys came to Fireline, even though your path didn't cross a whole lot in high school, but because there was a familiarity there, you think that helped the relationship move a little bit, or was there still a whole lot of just getting to know who each other was?
It seems so long ago now, and honestly, I've been here 15 years, but we probably didn't actually interact at all until 6 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, so you guys' positions kind of grew into what they are now.
Yeah, because he was still a field tech. I was just working on miscellaneous
Yeah,
projects.
that makes sense.
So we really didn't interact. It seems like it's so long ago, so I can't really remember when we first started interacting. I don't know if maybe it was just because we had that relatable past experience, like, hey, we both went to Chesapeake High School, but I just feel like he, like you said, he talks a lot. I'm a pretty outgoing person, so I think we just
hit it
off.
And it's something, and I don't know anything about Chesapeake High School, except for that it's in Pasadena. But the 3 people now that I know that went to Chesapeake High School are very relatable. You two and Mike, and it's something about that personality, a little, not afraid to be rough around the edges, but also very knowledgeable in what you do, but very personable and very able to talk. It translates really well into what we do here. I'm not giving Chesapeake High School all the credit.
I was going to say, I think that's a happy circumstance.
It could just be a circumstance, but it's funny that, where you guys are all at in your career, and then you all went to Chesapeake High School. All of you are, for the most part, from Pasadena area.
Obviously, it's a superior school.
Yeah, and it might be. I hear their football team wasn't very good.
Especially their defensive backfield.
Their defensive back struggled back in the day. So we're gonna just pick on Rich.
It's all good.
Just to go back to what you said, I'm not gonna kind of graze over it. I know you said you played baseball and martial arts. Mm-hmm. You kind of still do martial arts, right?
I just picked it back up about a month ago.
Now, what specifically?
Muay Thai.
Okay. So that's got to be a little bit rougher on your body than most, right?
That's like close contact, right? In that hand?
Yeah. I bruise like a peach.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because I thought about doing like what's the jujitsu.
Jiu-jitsu,
right now,
yep.
because it's so popular right now, and I'm not flexible, and I'm like I could use the exercise, something to change the pace of what I've been doing, but I'm afraid to just get hurt because I'm not flexible.
Look, I'll say it's odd. I used to be able to throw kicks over heads and stuff. My flexibility from here down, I'm like a walking 6x6. My hands, I'm still flexy and stuff, but
Yeah, but
everything else,
nothing else.
nope. Nope.
Yeah, that happens with age.
Yes.
And it does, and it's just the recovery time. And we talked about that when we talked about working out or exercise. Just at this point in life, is the recovery. Like I can't run 2 or 3 days, and I couldn't run 2 or 3 days in a row, but it sucks.
Oh.
There's probably science behind it. If Mike Zarek was here, he could Google right now.
Look, Gary
some of that
Cox-
inner ear stuff we talked
I'll
about.
tell you,
Yeah.
Gary just ran the Baltimore Marathon.
Yeah.
And he hasn't left his house in like 2 weeks. I'm like, why? He's like, I can't walk. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, that sounds lovely, but
Hey, shout out to Gary, dude. He did that's an amazing
Yeah.
feat to be able to do. And I know he worked hard to
Was
get
that
it
his
to do.
first
How well
one?
did he
First
do?
marathon?
He never told anybody. Like,
He finished.
he finished.
Aw,
I
that's all that matters.
He's
No,
gonna
that's
do
all
it
that
again.
matters.
Yeah.
But what you said, when you played sports, the people in this room that played sports,
I didn't play a high school sport. Okay.
Like recreational sports,
Yes.
right?
so we could almost break our neck and do it again the next day when you're 17.
Yeah.
Now we sleep funny, and for 2 weeks I'm like, babe, will you rub my neck for me? Just right there. it
Yeah,
hurts.
I talk about it with my friends. Like we used to go out and play football in the park, no pads, no nothing, for 6 hours a day, and get up and go to school the next day and play real organized sports or do whatever. And now it's the same way. It's
Yeah, now you're asleep every night at 10 o'clock
I
on the
get
couch.
kicked in the back of the head by my 5-year-old in the middle of the night, and I'm sore for 2 weeks. See, I know you already did a half marathon once, right? So you're
ready
training
to
again
do
for
another
another
one.
one. But the recovery
Anything
time-
beyond that? Do you want to do a marathon? Or
No,
just
I have no interest
half good?
in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
no
See,
interest in doing a marathon.
I still want to do a marathon, and I am way away from that. Like
what
I am-
draws you to that though? I'm like 13
just because
miles,
only
and I was
1%
like,
of people have ever done
I'm
it.
bored.
To me, that's the
So
accomplishment.
it's just really okay.
It's just to be in that to say that I did it.
Mark, you've got the frame of a good runner.
I know, don't I?
Yeah.
Look like SpongeBob SquarePants and some running shoes. And that's why it sucks, because when I even trained for was training for the half marathon I did, a 260-pound body is not built to be going 13 miles, and it played hell on my knees and my hips and my back, and I still pay for it to this day. But I just enjoy running. I always have. Even when I played sports, I was fast for a big guy, and I could run for a big guy. But as now at being 43 years old, I pay for that. And it's funny, not to just kind of take over this podcast, but if
Hey, keep
you've
going. You're doing
if
great.
you've listened before, I do that well. Friday night,
I'll just let them go.
I took my daughter to gymnastics class Friday night, and there's this group of like 30-some, maybe early 40-some men in the gymnastics place with their kid, but they're also trying to do gymnastics. So there's like a parkour kind of thing. These guys are doing cartwheels, and they're doing all this stuff, and they're doing backflips. And my wife's like, look, they can do that. You can't even jump in the foam pit, and you can barely get out of the foam pit. And I'm like, and so
That's what you tell you. Shut your mouth when you're talking
I'm
to
getting
me.
defensive, and I'm like, that's because they played board games growing up. They weren't playing sports growing up and destroying their body like I. So I'm immediately defensive.
They stretched this morning. I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about me. I do that a lot. If you listen,
I'm not judging you.
So I guess now that you're getting back into it, what's getting you back into doing the martial arts?
My youngest, is really, really talented at soccer. It's fantastic. But he's very short. I mean, if you can see my hands, he's a foot shorter than everybody else on the team. And he's in middle school now, so he's getting picked on a bit. So he used to watch me when I did martial arts years ago. I'm like, let's get him involved in it so he can build his confidence up a little bit. Because, middle school kids suck.
Middle school.
I don't know that yet, but I'm sure I'm going to find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Middle school's the worst.
Yeah.
And how many kids? You have 2, right? 2 boys?
Two.
2 boys.
Yeah. 19 and 11.
Okay.
Mark, I don't think you're gonna have any problems though.
No. Middle school. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like Bradley's the one that's gonna be in there going.
I think I'm going to have more problems, getting her out of trouble than
Yeah.
getting picked on. Yeah, she called somebody an a-hole last week, and I had to ask the teacher, which was not the right question to ask her, apparently.
Did she deserve
was,
it?
Did she say a-hole, or did she say the whole word? And you're good, Kelly. And apparently it didn't matter. I'm like, it does matter. That matters to me. Like, yeah, I've never heard her say that either way. Like, I've heard her drop the F-bomb, but never say the a-hole, so...
You know what? Shannon hasn't dropped the F-bomb or the S-bomb so far. I'm
We
proud
do
of
pretty
you.
good on this. I could tell you. I think Fred gets beat more than anybody.
I was gonna say
I get beeped a lot.
My last podcast,
Yeah.
I didn't have to get beeped at all.
Yeah.
I'm
I said-
very.
I said shit last time. You can beat that one again. Just so we know.
I'm on point.
Kelly loves
I'm
when we
on
make
point.
him do work.
I do struggle. That is one of my favorite words.
Yeah, it's a fun word.
So I
They're
tend
all
to
fun.
let it fly once in a while.
Yeah, there's 3 words I can't use in my house. I'm not going to use right here. But
Yeah. No, Rich and Mike both. It's funny because we work together a lot and we're talking a lot. And that is, we get on a phone call and they're like, I'm on speakerphone in my car with Tanner or.
Yep. I get that from Mike every day.
That has to be. You have to let everybody know. I'm a speakerphone guy anyway. Like, I mean, I walk on the house on speaker. I hate putting the phone in the ear, but so it's like I tell everybody, you're on speaker, just so you know. Well, take me off. Well, no,
Monday,
just watch your
Mike
mouth.
Lavasser. I'm on the phone with Mike and I'm talking. The next thing I hear this, hey, Mike goes, did you hear that? I said, yeah. He goes, that's his way of telling you he's in the car.
He does that to me too. And I'll be like, man, Mike, why didn't you tell me? He was like, the first thing I said when we got on the phone was I just picked Michael up from school. And I was like, oh, I wasn't listening.
Yep. Yeah. 3 F-bombs in. Now you're telling me.
No, you did it like 25 times one time. And I'm like, hey, Tanner's here. You're like, oh, F. I'm like, you did it again.
Yeah. And that's the problem too. Like now with Bradley is I don't have that filter. I try to catch myself, and she will tell me, "Hey, you said this," and I'm like, "Oh, so well after the fact, now you're repeating it, so it's not making it any better." But I don't let her watch football with me because of that. Like, don't sit down here and watch football with me. Go in the other room. 'Cause I'm gonna
Mine
be
now
saying
is
stuff.
I got to hear. Can I say that? Can I say that? Can I say that? Can I say it? Go ahead, shoot it off.
Yeah. See, I would rather ask permission than just say it.
Yeah.
Kelly, put your finger on the button. It's coming.
Yeah. That's Parker. He's 17. You know, he'll be 18 in February. So
I don't.
he's feeling a little more free lately. And I'm like, whoa.
And you have 2 kids now too, right?
3 actually. And my husband's got a daughter.
Okay, that's right.
She's mine too.
That's
But,
right. That's
yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to let you guys know something about Shannon that you probably don't know.
We'd love to hear it while you're here.
Shannon's, for being the operational person, and the look I'm getting right now is priceless. She's horrible with remembering things. Horrible.
Yes.
So years ago, we're at a convention, and she forgot. Was it your husband's birthday, your anniversary?
I think it was our anniversary. It was our anniversary because the only reason I remembered, which he knows this, so it's okay if he listens to this podcast.
Hold on. I have her anniversary and his birthday in my calendar to remind her.
To remind.
Yeah,
to
we
remind
went away for a conference on my anniversary weekend. We got there and I'm unpacking and he had snuck a card into my suitcase, like an anniversary card, because he's way more thoughtful than I am. I will admit that about him. I'm not sure why he loves me. I'm not very thoughtful.
Dave's a good man.
Yes, he is. So I saw the card. I'm immediately panicking because now I'm away and I'm like, what am I going to do? I didn't get him a card
And
or
we're
whatever.
at dinner.
So, we're at dinner and I am like frantically searching my phone to figure out what can I send him. I can't send my husband flowers. That's not cool. I ended up sending him a
A
money
little demasculating or whatever. So, yeah.
I sent him a money tree. It was a like a bonsai tree. I sent it to his work just to try and make it a little bit
money
more
tree?
flashy.
Did you say money
It
tree?
was called a money tree, but it was like a
I'm gonna
bonsai
buy your
tree.
love back.
It was a bonsai tree, dollar bills taped on or something on it.
I don't remember, but yeah, it was like the best thing I could find. But
That's hilarious.
All right, so how much?
I've forgotten his birthday on multiple. Oh, I had to run out of here in the middle of a meeting. Yeah, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot his birthday.
And you staged it too.
I did. I forgot his birthday. We're in the middle of a meeting, and I was like, oh,
Crap.
S word.
There you go.
Today's Dave's birthday. Didn't say happy birthday before I left for work or anything. I was like, I really have to go. I'm really sorry. And like, I left, called my mom, had her hit the grocery store to grab a cupcake. And I went and got a card because I at least wanted to try and get like a personalized card. She got him a cupcake and a balloon. We met at the house. I set it all up, wrote in the card. I bet you thought I forgot, but I wanted to surprise you. And that I don't think he knows about this.
Well, now.
So now he does know. And then I came back to work.
Well, is it forgetting if you do remember on the same day? Did you really forget?
I
don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so. I mean,
know?
in my defense.
I mean, when I said, "Hey, isn't it Dave's birthday?" and she's like, "Oh,
You did
S
not.
word."
Yeah.
It just popped in my head.
If it's not in my calendar, I'm not remembering it.
No.
Even if it's in my calendar, I suck.
Yeah.
There's so many other things going on, and like I said, I'm not actively like being thoughtful in things. Like, I don't know. I'm doing so many things. I'm going through the motions.
I got
am
married
terrible.
on
I am
Valentine's Day
terrible.
just so my wife knew I'd bundle things together. Less of a chance of me
See, I
forgetting.
should have thought. I
Yeah.
should have
That's
thought
good
of
thinking.
something like
Good
that.
thinking.
Yeah, we got married like 3 days after my birthday, and I was like, "This is great." Or 4 days actually after my birthday, because I'll never forget that it's just 4 days after my birthday.
You just did.
Yeah, I know, right? But as always, I like to celebrate me first, and then I'll celebrate our anniversary.
Mark, do me a favor. Tell me about you.
Tell me, no, that's for a whole. We don't have enough time. Me and Fred and I have done plenty of podcasts where I go on that rant.
Oh man, I thought I could talk. I mean, I can talk. I tell you what, I let him go.
Yeah,
He does. He does good though. He got a nice smooth voice. Yeah.
We got to talking. I wanted to ask you a question, Shannon, and it's escaping me. So I remember what it was. So we were talking about cursing and with our children and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask if it was part of your life growing up, that like that's how your parents were with you or anything. Because
No, not at all.
again,
You were a
back
Catholic
then-
school girl, right?
Yeah, it was not at
So
all.
your parents
I know
were
that.
kind of strict in that aspect.
Yes. I blame it on Chesapeake.
Nope, not at all.
So is it just that? So what is it nowadays? Because I feel like almost everyone I talk to has the same thing. Like, yeah, I cuss in front of my kids. It's a problem. Why is it nowadays? Is it just that it's we're in? Is it just maybe not nowadays? It's just that in our industry, it's a little bit more acceptable.
So I always said it was, and I'm sure, again, I can't remember, but I'm sure back in high school I was using language I shouldn't have been using, but I worked in construction. You know, it was a construction engineering firm. There was a lot of men and a lot of language, and I mean, shit, it's, you know, in order
There
to-
was.
if you're gonna survive, you know, what do they always say? Like you gotta.
I'm a firm believer. They're only words.
No,
they
you
are
got to
only-
tell those
they are only
shitheads who's in
they're
charge.
only words, and it's how you use the word and how you.
Yeah, no, I think there's a certain.
It is. It's got this connotation that it's ignorance and it's they're words that are used to take the place of more intelligent words, and sometimes it just nothing expresses yourself like a good old F-bomb.
Look,
Yep.
look, it's a noun. It's a verb. It fits
It means
everything.
everything.
Yes. It does.
But like I think, and you said no, absolutely not. I'm definitely in the more of the rich thing. Like my only time I ever heard my father cuss was when he was building something or working on something where my mother had a mouth like a sailor. You know what I mean? She was
neither of my
very
kids.
unfiltered. And my mother was the one who would talk to you about anything. You know what I mean? Like I learned the birds and bees from mom, only because, you know, as a teenager, she's giving out condoms. Like, hey, if you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You know, you're going to use this, which was very open-minded parents, which is how I try to be.
My parents never had that conversation with me.
No,
Never.
Mine neither.
Yeah.
I think it was such a different time back then. It was almost taboo to talk to your children about that, where now, I mean, everybody, kids are my kid not so much yet, but your kids definitely have it right at their fingertips. Anything they want to know about.
I'm older than both of everybody in this room, and we had those conversations. My parents cussed like sailors. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a
It could have
hostile.
been their industry, maybe.
And they were loving parents, but it was you know, that's what we did. And nowadays, I do cuss in front of I don't go out on a tangent. Like I drop the words. I try not to talk like I normally talk, obviously. But when I do drop an F-bomb or I do drop an S-bomb or something, I'm not apologizing. Oh, sorry, kiddo. She knows it. Other people, they drop around them. I said, she lives with me. She hears it. But they're going to hear it. Nowadays, we live in a social media.
Yep.
So, I mean, and I don't care how much you filter those phones from them kids, they're going to hear it. And let me tell you something. What they're talking about now in elementary, middle, and
It's
then even in
worse
the
than us.
high, it's much worse than anything they're going to hear
Yeah,
from
I
me.
think-
So I want them to know that, and I want her to know especially that it's just a part of it's language. It's just words, and it's how you use it. And I'm more interested on her understanding the effect it can have on people and how it's being used than just actually using the word itself, because it's just going to happen. And that's kind of what we
And
preach.
time and place is what I was going to say.
100%.
Yes,
Time
being
Place.
respectful. Like, oh
Sure.
my goodness, how backhand my kid.
If
Don't
we're
do
right,
that.
if you're downstairs watching football with me and we're both cussing at the TV, then high fives. You know what I mean? But if you're in school, don't say it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't want the teacher saying we're giving you guys these 10 math problems, and she's like, "Well, F you, B." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes,
We ain't doing that.
respect.
So I will
That's
tell
the
you
thing.
this.
That's
I
we're
hear it.
having
So
that.
one of my best friends is a teacher in Owens Mills, elementary school
It's a
teacher. in
patient
Owens
person.
Mills. And she said it is absolutely horrendous the way that these kids talk to teachers, and I'm only speaking purely for now this Owens Mill Elementary School, but she's been teaching for quite some time now, and she's like, such a huge problem that it almost seems like it's encouraged.
Well, it's a learned behavior. I mean, you think about it. You sit around and watch. Everybody gets on their phone. They watch YouTube or they watch Instagram or whatever you're watching, right? And these little videos, and you're laughing at these people making these jokes who are using these words or using these innuendos or talking about these situations, and we're at people laughing, and your kids are in the background
They
watching
observe.
you
That just
listen to
happened.
that and pick up on that, and they just think, oh, it's funny. Daddy thinks it's funny. Mommy thinks it's funny, and then if you're not having those conversations, explaining to them that it's funny in the content that it is, then yeah, they're going to
That
be
was
using
Dave the other day. We had Liam, my grandson, my oldest, at the house, and Dave's sitting there watching TikTok video or something. I don't know, but I can hear him. It's like comedian clips, and I walk in and I'm like, because I'm more aware now because I just
watching this.
Liam is sitting next to him on he's playing a game or something on his tablet, but Dave's just scrolling through a video, and the language and the stuff. I was like, I don't think that it's a good idea to listen to those right now. Like, he's pretending not to pay attention, but I am sure he is listening to everything.
My 5-year-old will pick up a play phone and pretend to scroll through it.
Oh my
so
goodness.
they watch and they're observing everything. I'm like, what does she know about scrolling? Well, she watches us do it.
Yes.
All right, so who knows Fawn Dyson in this room?
Everybody here knows.
Great tech, been a fire line forever. Fawn will drop the F-bomb from time to time.
Every now and then, yeah.
He was driving down the street years ago, and God, I hope he listens to this. And his daughter was young in the back seat, and he's driving down this road, and somebody cut him off. Well, she had like a fake steering wheel, and she's driving too. And he slammed on the brakes. And his daughter does the same thing and like blows her fake horn, and she goes, beep, beep, mother.
Beeper.
Yeah.
And he told all the texts. I'm like, you know what? Where did she get that from, Fawn? And he's like, yeah.
That's
They
my girl.
they listen, and they repeat.
Yeah.
We had
they
to
do.
pick.
They
We're
do.
getting ready to go on a Disney cruise in 3 weeks.
I cannot wait to
We
hear
had to
about
pick
this.
a safe word to pick her up from the kids club. If she goes to kids club, we have to
Pineapple.
have a passport. No, my daughter said, "Can we use the F word?" That's what she said. Can we use the F word? And I said, "Hey,
so
nobody else will."
What's going on at your house, Mark?
Oh my goodness.
I was like, yeah, she's
That's
got a
funny.
point.
Hey, no, yeah.
So what's the
else
budget
could
to go on a Disney cruise? Is it stupid expensive, or
So
do
I
you not want
picked
to
the
talk
cheap.
about it?
So we're going on the cheap
I think
one,
it's stupid
and the reason it's cheap is because it's a repositioning cruise. We leave out of Puerto Rico and it comes back to Galveston, so it's a lot cheaper than a normal cruise. And we got an inside room, and it's still almost double the cost of a cruise if you were to go on Royal Caribbean or Carnival
And you
Yeah,
still
I
got to
can-
buy stuff on the cruise.
on the cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to hear how it is, though.
yeah. And everybody tells me the same thing, and you know, oh, you're going to love it. And I'm like, I like regular cruises, and I say regular, which would be for me Carnival or Royal Caribbean. I have no problems and no complaints about them. So I don't know how much better the Disney cruise can be to me to where I'm going to go, yeah, I can spend an extra couple grand to go on Disney.
Are you taking your Mickey ears?
I got a whole Mickey 2-piece.
There it is.
And I can't wait.
I can't
It
wait.
goes right with my Mickey ears.
Complete
My
with
mini ears,
buttons and
actually.
everything.
Oh,
Buttons, yeah, buttons just over the nips. Just over the nips. It's going to be good.
Can we say nips? Kelly?
We're good with nips. He checked it with the FCC or whatever it is. Yeah, so yeah, I'll keep you posted on it, but I'm excited about it. I know they do fireworks off of the boat, which is something new. I've never seen that, so we'll have to stay up. and
you
do
going to take an
fireworks.
extinguisher with you? And if so, what type?
What type? It would be an ABC, but they better have something. I'm sure they got plenty on there.
Yeah.
Did you see that? It wasn't not that long ago that Carnival ship that the whole like tail end caught on fire and
Yeah.
was burning while they were at sea. It's the engine room, like the blue and red thing that sticks off the top of it was all like flamed, and people were just hanging out at the pool watching it burn.
Video on it.
Yeah, like, that's what everybody does, right? Don't grab the fire extinguisher. Let me grab my camera
Right.
first.
We're safe.
I'm a boater, and that scares the crap out of me. Like, I couldn't imagine being
In the middle of an ocean,
200 miles offshore, and looking like, man, that really sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks. At least it's overhead and not underneath. Like there's no water getting in that.
But you
so
know what?
it's-
Hey, that smoke rises from somewhere.
Well, it does. You're right. The smoke's rising
Yeah.
from somewhere. And to me, the thing is always, I've been on a ship that didn't have stabilizers before, and we were in a really bad storm. And after that, I said I would never go on another cruise again. And I've been on multiple since then. But like a dead in the water ship sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well, they're all sitting there excited with the phone. Free cruise.
Yeah,
We're
that's
getting
what
a
you're
free
thinking,
one.
Right? You're
Hold on.
we're getting something. Right, or throwing up. Yeah,
Do you got weather drama mean? Do you have to put that on there? Or are you good?
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Just drink through it.
That's right.
I've just never had a problem. Now I remember like waking up the first couple times I went when that next day when you're cruising because they really gun it sometimes, and really being able to feel it while like I was laying in bed, and then it never bothered me since then.
So you just got off your first cruise ever, right? Wasn't that your first one,
It
or
was
like
my
first big
second,
one?
but the first big one. We went to Alaska, and I always say that was a boat, not really a cruise
Okay.
ship. But yeah, we did Royal Caribbean, the Icon of the Seas, which is like currently the biggest boat on the water.
It's an
So
icon.
for my first real cruise, it was amazing.
Yeah, I saw some. That thing is massive.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what were they? Was it you who told me, or maybe it was Tori? I think Tori booking that for her honeymoon,
really?
right?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, on that one. But
I hadn't
something
heard.
like you can spend 2 weeks on it and not see everything, or something like that, or a month, or something like that.
I don't know, about a month. We were on it for a week, and I made it my life's mission to try and get around the boat and still didn't see everything. I didn't get to do all the activities. There's just a lot to do.
It's huge.
And I barely, like when we would hit port, I'm first one off the boat. We would just run off, get our picture with the sign, maybe
your
take a
thing.
peek at a couple things and get right back on. So I tried to maximize my time on the boat, and still, yeah, it's a lot.
A lot. Yeah, they're big. Have you been on a cruise?
I have not.
No, you just cruise your own. And you got a new boat, right? You sold yours. Didn't you get a new boat?
Yeah.
What'd you get? Rich?
I don't want to talk about it.
Huh? Oh, well, are we having problems?
Yeah, we got a
The kind that costs
Are
money.
we having problems?
no, we got a 45-foot Sea Ray.
Okay.
I don't know
Alright.
what that means.
It's a big boat.
What is it? A
Big- I mean, 45
Sundancer?
foot's big.
Sundancer.
It's a lot of work.
I know how big
Yeah.
my camper is, and if it's bigger than my camper's 37 feet, and you got a 45-foot
It's a
boat.
pretty big girl.
Yeah, mine's,
Yeah.
mine's 37.
Oh, yeah.
My camper.
You know this.
You
but
got diesels, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get my captain's license next year. That's one of my to-dos.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Going to charter it?
No, I just want to be Captain Dick and have shirts made.
That's right.
Yeah, well.
Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
You can say
It's a
that. It's
name.
true.
Yeah, the boat life is way more work than camping.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go camping.
It
and
is.
This is the whole the lead up, the week leading up. The camping's all the work from I mean, what am I going to pack? We got to get the camper charged. Make sure the battery's charged and the food's ready. And once you get there, though, it's relaxing. Yeah.
We
Kelly's
had
going
them.
camping
We had
this
them.
weekend,
I've
too.
had both, the boat and the camper, and I like them both. They both have their own appeal. My family, though, although they loved being out on the water, they like the camping better just because you can do more. When you're on a boat, you kind of go, you spend the night on the boat, either going to a marina and you got to walk around, you got to do, or you're just on the boat, right? You can't really go much. So
I got a dinghy, so we dinghy everywhere. So we
ya?
drop anchor and we dinghy all over the place.
all right,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
You
You have a big dinghy or a little dinghy?
Hello.
average. Is it? Can you wakeboard
10
or
foot
anything
8.
off of that? Guy's like, I can do a lot of editing
What?
on this episode. He's got
A
work to
dinghy's
do.
a boat, Kelly.
It's an average.
It's actually on the boat.
It's
a
an
real
average
thing.
dinghy.
Yeah. Right.
All right,
Do you prefer me call it a rubber inflatable?
a rubber inflatable.
That is.
So-
Hey, you think a rubber inflatable's better? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody knows boat terms.
We'll send you pictures
Oh.
of rubber inflatables later. You'll think different.
Yeah.
So I don't. The only reason I don't like boats is because they remind me of summertime, and I don't know if you know this about me yet. that I
I'm
don't
surprised
like
the
heat.
fan's not on now.
I'm not a fan of the heat, and this is like my favorite time of year to go camping when you wake up and it's cold outside.
Yes.
I like the heat. Bring on the
Oh
heat.
my goodness.
Have
no,
my coffee
I
outside with a
love-
cigar in the morning.
You love what?
Cigar in the morning.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
camping this time of year. Before I had a camper, like tent camping, real camping.
Oh yeah, you're more
Not
gangster than
glamping?
me.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't tent camp. I
No,
am a
you
glam
never did?
bird. No. Oh, once when I
Oh,
first
okay.
started dating my wife because I liked her back then, and
Oh.
before we were married, we went to Assateague Island and we got in a tent, and that was the last time we ever did that. We immediately bought a camper after.
Hold on.
that.
Stop.
My husband-
You said you liked her. No, you were trying to woo her at the time.
Oh yeah,
It's a
I was
huge
doing all-
difference.
I called out of work to surprise her at
Yeah.
the trip because I told her I wasn't coming, and then I called out of work and met her there, and it was terrible.
No, you
It
had
was so
you
bad.
had a game plan. Is what you had.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it worked. We're still together 15 years later, but
Yeah, it worked.
it's tent. That was the last time. I remember it rained, and I was like, "We're going to go look for campers." So
You could tell
we've
that
had
story.
a camper ever
My
since.
husband tried to be a good sport. Well, he never Well, I think I did get him to go tent camping one time. But I was always a tent camper. I would wilderness camp. Loved camping.
I could tent camp this time of year. If it was going to be in the 60s
Yeah, this
and,
is
and
the
cold
only
at night,
time when
I
you're
could tent camp
yeah.
all day. But this was at the beach in August. Tent camp. It was brutal.
That's pasty.
I
No.
grew up in New Mexico, and that's all we would do with tent camp, and we'd go for an entire week along the river and just camp. And there was no camper; it was tents. We had a rubber dinghy. Back to the dinghy. Can I say that? A rubber dinghy. We would fill that up with
Inflatable.
camp water, right? And that's how you would heat the water up. That's how you would bathe throughout the course of the week. But that's all
Oh,
we did.
we had the
grew
showers
up
that
doing nothing.
hung.
We didn't have. Well, that was too fancy. We couldn't afford that stuff. We had to. We
was
had,
a
we had to heat. We had to
rubber
heat
or
river
plastic
water up
bottle.
and do it that way. That's the only way we could do it.
We just had it was the plastic
Yeah,
bottle that
yeah.
you hang over.
We were probably not smart enough for that.
Yeah. No, my father was him and my mother
Yeah.
both were backpackers. Like literally
yeah.
would spend like a full week just backpacking and living off of whatever they could carry.
That's how we did it growing up.
He was pretty good at that.
That's good. What? So you've been camping forever then?
Oh yeah, ever since I was little. They were scuba divers, and we would go down into quarries, and they would do
Scuba stuff.
events. And
Have you ever
yeah,
scuba
I would-
dived?
Yes, I'm certified. Yeah,
Are you?
when I was
I
14.
love it. It's fun. Are you too? Yeah.
all three of
You
them.
as well?
Love
Look at that.
it.
Look at that.
I
Mark,
am.
you?
Oh,
I am not. No,
Ooh.
I've only snuba dived. I've never scuba dived.
Let's take you
It's
out to the
amazing.
bay,
Scuba
put some
thing,
weights
yeah.
on you, and watch it drop down.
Yeah.
It takes a
It'd be
lot
good.
of weights to get me to float.
Now, do you
down
guys
there, I'm
enjoy
telling you.
scuba diving? Do you like it? Do you go often? When was the last time you went?
I haven't been in a very long time.
Yeah?
I'm
Rich?
actually
Same
so
thing?
my husband. I could not get my husband to get certified. Allie got certified. My brother got her certified when she was probably about 16. Since my dad passed away, he was always my scuba buddy. Like you got to have somebody to
Yeah.
go with, and he was always my buddy. And you know, cost money, so it's not like Allie can go scuba diving whenever she wants.
So they
I
got those
haven't had a
things
buddy in a while.
you can float behind your boat or in the water, and basically it's a breathing apparatus. It gives you like a 20-foot tail. You
That's
can go
the
down the swimmer.
snuba.
That's the snuba. Yeah,
So-
that's what I've done. Yeah.
We were gonna buy one. I'm like, all right, it's like $1,200. And a friend of mine goes, they got one on Amazon for $300. I'm like, I don't think I want to skip out on that.
That sounds
crazy.
That
no.
sounds safe.
Cut
yeah.
your costs.
Yeah, that sounds
So
safe.
where have you been scuba diving?
Florida.
Yeah, I used to go to the Keys all
Yeah.
the time. We went to the Keys. Oh,
That's the first
God.
place I'll scuba dive.
Have you
was
been
in
on
the
a night
Keys.
dive?
No. But hold on. I can see my wife as I'm down 20 foot in that little snuba
Snuba. Yeah.
kinking the line.
Yeah.
I might come help her.
We did a scuba in Cozumel off of a cruise, and my wife had never scuba dived, so they did like a Discover Scuba where you can kind of go to the quick class. It was kind of cool because me and my buddy, the instructor, and just my wife, that was it. There was nobody else doing part of this thing, so she got 101 with this instructor. Anyway, we go down the first time, the very first one, little pond. We go down. She did great. We're instructed with her 101, no problems. Come back up, and we're like, all right, you want to go out and go scuba diving out there on the reef? She said, great, no problem. So we go all the way back out. We all fall in the water. It's me and my buddy. We teamed up. And again, she's 101 with the scuba instructor. So I kind of come by her under the water and wave, and she's like waving me off, like get away from me because she's still nervous.
No, or was he good looking?
No, it could have
Yeah,
been. I mean,
you're screwing up our
I'm not very
chances,
good
right?
looking, so there's not much to judge off of that. So we're under the water, and we go, and we've already been under for probably the first 30. We're 10 minutes under. We're starting our descent on the second dive. So she kind of shoos me away to go away. So I go away. I'm down. And I'm kind of looking up at her. And she's at about 20 feet. I'm probably 30, 35 feet. And all of a sudden, I see her panic. And the instructor's coming up at her like to tell her. And she's fighting them off, right? She's going crazy underwater, fighting her way to the top. Gets to the top. We finish our dive. We come back up. I'm like, what happened? You know what I mean? Well, she got a little bit of water in her mouth and forgot just to purge it out. Freaked out, swallowed a little bit of water, went to the top. At 20 feet, you're okay, right? But so because of that, she will not dive anymore. I'm like, well, you spent 30 minutes under there doing it just fine. Now you don't want to dive. But we had to talk for like the next 2 days. Have you ever heard of dry drowning? So apparently you can dry drown. So we had to hear her talk about dry drowning for the next 2 days.
Are you gonna fill
she was
us in?
worried
What is
about
it?
it. So she's still with us.
Like I think you can swap. Like if
Yeah,
you take a
can.
drink.
Yeah, you can swallow something,
Yeah.
and then you think you're okay, and then it can still flood you out or somehow,
Oh.
and you can still drown
And
with a
that's
little
what she
bit
was
somewhere.
convinced.
She was
dry.
convinced that was going to happen for the next 2 days. So that's all we had to hear about.
Is that something she knew about because of her occupation, or did
Yes,
she Google
correct.
it?
From
Yeah,
her
so see,
from her
that does-
occupation.
She does. Yeah, that will create.
Yes.
some
Well,
fears, right?
then and she treats cancer patients. So anytime anybody comes
She's
home with an
involved
ailment, you know what I mean?
in-
Well,
yeah.
let's make sure it's not
She's
cancer.
in the medical field. She
Yes,
sees a lot
yes.
of things.
Does she
knows
still
things.
like Google diagnose herself when she's ill?
100%.
Okay, fair.
100%.
Don't
Yeah.
we all, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that like the first
But
thing you do?
that
is-
was, she'll never dive now.
Aw.
And they're all
That's
again.
sad. I had I had a couple freaky experiences when I got the week I went and was certified.
Hey, you're being recorded.
The week I went and was certified, in that week, my father was like, I was really worried about sharks. You're never going to see a shark. I haven't seen a shark in all my years of scuba diving. Sure enough, I saw a shark. And I kind of did the same thing. My aunt was with me then, and I was climbing up her body, like, please let me out of here. And she's trying to hold me down because you just kind of chill and they'll do their own thing. It didn't bother us. And then my regulator broke. The hose came off and I sucked a bunch of air. And you have your second regulator, which I immediately grabbed, but then for some reason I wasn't getting full breaths of air. So that was a little scary, but I was so excited about it. It didn't steer me away from it. I love scuba diving. It's
relaxing.
exhilarating.
It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
to be
cool.
down that far under the water, it's just
My
it's
favorite
crazy.
one was one in Key Largo. We saw a guppy, and this guppy was as big as a Volkswagen Beetle. He was just hiding out down low under the reef. Dude, he was bad to the bone. He
How
was cool.
puckered were you when you got close to him?
It was cool. It was no problem. Like it was good. It was good because I had a guide, and it was just her and I. And there was nobody. The other were doing their own Discover stuff, and she took me all over the place. And that would have been my favorite dive was right there in Key Largo. We saw everything.
No,
So you
I
know,
was
was
the
so
little,
cool.
Largo
little
was one of my
the
favorites.
hoverboards you can get, like it takes you all around.
Yeah.
I want to get on them. That
Yeah,
looks
they
really
look
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
But no, diving's fun.
We try to snorkel as much as we like, especially all the cruises, and it's always some Caribbean island where the water's clear. So we snorkel as much as we can, and I can imagine that scuba diving, even more up close and personal, would be pretty cool.
It is. It's neat.
We can go in. I mean, you can go into caves. And
Yeah.
like I said, the night dives are awesome.
Yep.
Deep dives.
Well, look, I appreciate you guys being on here. We've been doing this for 45 minutes already, which is hard to believe. But I
Oh,
told
wow.
you it was
Can you
starting to
believe
go
we
when,
talk this much?
Yeah.
We
Well, I
do.
think 20 minutes was me just telling stories about myself.
Nah.
Yeah, you're doing great.
So if you've listened before, you know that one of the things we like to do is we ask everybody the same question. So I'll start with Shannon. So what we ask is, what advice that Shannon Adkins today would give to Shannon Adkins day one coming into Fireline?
Hold on. Do we want to mix this up a little bit?
Sure. What do you like?
So I'd like to hear that.
Okay.
Obviously, we've heard Shannon before because she's told it, but she'll change something new. We'll go back and see if she remembers what she said. But I'd almost like to kind of hear what each other would tell each other for day one coming in.
Oh, I got you.
What advice would you give to Rich coming in day one, and vice
because
versa?
Rich was actually here before her, so
Yeah.
he would have had some advice to give.
Well, should he give me his
Yeah,
let's
let's
first?
get
Yeah.
Since
your
you were
advice
here
first.
first,
Now
I
we
think
put you on the spot.
Let's go.
you had 5 years experience at Fireline. What would you tell me?
So when I started, there was a guy named Mark Reedy who worked here. He was a sales rep. He told me to be successful at Fireline, be average. And if you're average through your career, you'll stand out because so many people just are below average.
I think that's actually great advice.
Yeah.
I
You're
think
way
that's
worse
great
than
life advice.
No, it's
like,
true.
really,
But
like-
just be average. I mean, if you are, look at the Patriots for many years. They had 2 or 3 standout players on the team, but a bunch of average people. How many Super Bowls did they win? If you're average, you'll unfortunately be successful.
Yeah. It's the David Goggins quote. It's so easy to be great nowadays because everybody else is less than that.
Yeah.
So Shannon, be average.
Okay.
Okay.
It'll
what
be
about
hard
yours?
for me, but my advice to Rich would be to embrace process. And that's kind of an inside joke because Rich hates that I'm always like process.
Yes,
And
SOGs.
recently, Rich has been coming to me with the I think we need a process.
I said to her a couple weeks ago, I think we should have some inventory process. She goes, "Oh, Richard, I love you." I'm like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Finally
So
brought it
no,
up.
I think it is really important for what we do. I think to tell Rich
Embrace
early
the
on, like
process.
embrace the process. Like,
Hold on. However, I'm proud of you for something. You're not like sales wise, like, okay, we've got to quote this. We have to.
Yeah.
Even though it may hurt, we got to quote it.
Yep. Yeah, we have taught each other
Yes.
a lot. I mean, yeah, we didn't get too much into that, but yeah, I think Rich and I definitely butt heads. We love to hate each other, like we said, but I think the longer we work together, the more we complement each other in our roles. So,
Well, thank you both. I know you have very busy schedules. This was a great episode, and we're happy to have you both on here.
Yeah.
I know we weren't sure what we were going to talk about or kind of go into, but
I was nervous.
I think it went very well, and I appreciate your time. Fred, as
No,
always.
yeah, no. I mean, thank you guys for your time. We appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
everybody.
Kelly, I'm proud of you.
Yep. We'll talk to you next time.
See you guys.